I use that too, and I found it's a really quick and versatile way, so quick and so versatile that I would say that's probably the most important use or the most important tip I could give to anybody on how to use ChatGPT. Hi, and welcome to the It's Not the End of the World podcast, everyday use cases for AI, where we have down to earth conversations with people about how they use these new tools that are making waves in the media and in the world. We're here today with Luna, who is our editor and camera operator here in New York City. She's from Taiwan and she has an incredible resume. Before she joined Quite Frankly Productions, she worked with the likes of Martin Scorsese and Luc Besson as an assistant editor. Here she is with us today to talk about how she's using AI in her day-to-day workflows. Hi, Luna.
Hi, Bobby.
Luna, describe what type of AI user you are. Are you using it all the time, hourly, daily, sometimes?
I'm a heavy user.
And generally, when we're talking about AI, obviously there's so many different tools, particularly someone like you who's a creative can be using. But I'm curious to know, we're going to start with just chatbots and LLMs. So which chatbot are you using for the most part?
Mostly I use ChatGPT.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, the kind of the Kleenex of AIs, I think, probably ChatGPT. Tell me a little bit about your obviously, Taiwanese background. What's your first language?
My first language is Mandarin.
Mandarin. And are you communicating with ChatGPT in Mandarin or are you English? What language do you use?
Mostly I use Mandarin, and also this is a very important part to ChatGPT, to me, because sometimes my English is not very fluent and my vocabulary is not much. I don't know a lot of vocabularies. So I say things very directly and I'm worried that I will offend someone. So I use ChatGPT to ask, that's what I want to say.
So talk to me a little bit about what was it like interacting with ChatGPT in Mandarin and also in English. What's it like going between the two different languages?
The most important part is I'm in the US. So I need to tell ChatGPT in my portfolio, tell it that I'm a Mandarin speaker. I work in the US. So when I ask you question in Mandarin, can you search English website, English information for me, and then translate to Mandarin? Because if I ask it in Mandarin, then it will right directly dive into Chinese database, which maybe not much information and not much accurate than what I need because I'm in the US.
You might, forgive my ignorance, but I suppose I am surprised that you can access the Chinese internet. I sort of assumed that it was locked down somehow. Is that not right? Am I being ignorant?
When you search on Google in Chinese, and you will get a lot of information. You can see Chinese website. So those information is shared internationally.
Right.
For example, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I used ChatGPT, I asked question in Mandarin. Specifically, I'm using traditional Chinese. I ask traditional Chinese question, and it usually respond me in simplified Chinese, which the information basically is from simplified Chinese using countries.
Okay. So is that is that not very good? What do you mean by simplified Chinese?
Because characters, we are using different characters.
Okay, so it's not. So is it when you say simplified Chinese, are you saying it's like not very sophisticated?
It's not about content. It's about the character,
Right.
the writing.
So you can still get the depth of information that you need from simplified Chinese.
Yes, it's like UK English color and the US color spelled differently, but that sounds the same.
Ah, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's Chinese websites, and ChatGPT will, when you search, when you ask a question in Mandarin, ChatGPT will start searching for answers on Chinese websites.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to tell it, search what do you tell it? So if you're asking Chat, you don't want it to search Chinese websites, what do you want it to search?
I will ask ChatGPT, say, can you search English information to me and translate to Chinese to me?
So are you mostly just speaking to ChatGPT in Mandarin the whole time?
Mostly, yes.
One of the major use cases you said is making sure that when you're communicating with your colleagues and with clients over email or on Slack, that the way that you are communicating is polite and well mannered.
Yes. So when you see my English without any error, then that's from ChatGPT.
I'm sure you're just being humble. For somebody who's listening that's never used it before, but is maybe English is their second language and they really like the idea of using it in this way, how exactly do you do it?
I screenshot or copy paste the conversation and ask in Chinese, I want to respond this. Can you translate English to me? Or another way is screenshot of the conversation and type in English what I want to say and ask it to correct my English.
That's great. I can see why that must be so useful.
Mm-hmm.
Is it helping you with your actual English? Do you think, have you gotten better at English since using ChatGPT, or is it making you stupider?
I think it's the the second one because
Really?
I'm to rely on ChatGPT. So it's sometimes I'm afraid of saying things or I will hesitate to say things. That's not good.
That makes me really sad. I
Mm,
was really hoping you'd say, yeah, it's making me much
yes.
better. Not that I'm like a champion of, I mean, I am something of a champion of the technology, but I am, I'm optimistic about it. I'm hopeful for it. And I guess I was hopeful that it would be helping you learn the language.
But I do use ChatGPT to learn Japanese, but it's not a formal way to learn because I plan to visit Japan. I want to learn some simple Japanese, not the perfect business use. Just want to say hi, how much is it? Something like that. And I told ChatGPT when I'm going to go. So I asked ChatGPT to give me the breakdown, how many weeks I have, and what I can learn. It provide me that study map map.
That's
So
interesting. So, but okay, my ignorance here, I feel like we're dealing with so many different alphabets between Japanese, English, and Mandarin. How does it teach you that? Does it teach you how to say it phonetically in Mandarin? How are you learning Japanese using ChatGPT?
oh, I learned Japanese. I ask it in Mandarin, and it give me the studying plan for each week. And the first week, I will say I want to start with the first week, and then it will give me what I should learn, give me some example so I can follow it and read it. And it sometimes ask me, do you want me to read it and you follow it? And I will do that sometimes. And you will check my pronunciation.
Wait, You read it, it reads it out loud for you.
Yes.
How?
Use the voice feature.
Okay, tell me about that. Help me understand this. So you've got a conversation going where you're
Okay.
saying, okay, all of this is in Mandarin. You said, I'm learning Japanese. I'm going out on vacation uh, in, 6 months' time. Um, it says, okay, Luna, I'll give you a study plan. It gives you the study plan. And then after you're doing a bit of work with the study plan, it will say, do you want me to read this out to you so you can check pronunciation?
Yeah.
And then you say yes. And then you have to press the advanced voice mode button. Is that what you have to do?
Yes.
And then it reads it out to you.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Is it good?
Yeah, it's good.
Have you learned? Have you been learning anything?
Mm, I can say something, but the language is kind of difficult because when you say how much is it, you ask how much is it, then they will tell you $300. So you need to learn $300, all the numbers, right?
But you're making progress with it. Is it more effective than in other ways that you've tried to learn languages, or is it just novel?
Uh, I think proper classes might be better, but to me, I'm not really learning Japanese is just for vacation. It's very casual, so I can use it on the train or some little time with it.
Yeah. I actually had an amazing experience when I was in Mexico using the advanced voice mode as a translation tool.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in Mexico for a wedding, and my wife was debating whether she was going to come and join or not. And she was like 6 months pregnant, and she was worried about whether the mosquitoes had a certain disease, whether they were carrying a certain disease. And so, and the guy at the hotel that I was speaking to about this, his English wasn't very good and my Spanish isn't very good. So, using advanced voice mode and asking it to act as a translator, I was able to say to ChatGPT, this is the situation, this is what I'm trying to do. Can you explain to the man on the desk that um, you're going to act as the translator? And can you also explain what the situation is? And it was really amazing because he couldn't understand a word that I was saying when I was speaking to ChatGPT. And then, ChatGPT says, yeah, okay, go for it. And then you put it down on the desk. And then you see his face. At first, he looked a little bit credulous, like, what is this guy doing? And then next thing you know, ChatGPT starts speaking to him and he's nodding and nodding. And then you can see him, he starts smiling. And then his eyes kind of light up as he looks at me as if to say, wow, this is amazing. And then he starts speaking to it. And we have a really complicated conversation about whether he thought it was too risky or not to come to this part of Mexico in order to, attend this wedding. And in the end, she didn't come. But, he helped me with making that decision.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously I didn't learn the language through that, but it was a really amazing tool to communicate.
Mm-hmm. I think maybe in the future we don't really need to learn languages.
I hope there's still a way to learn languages though. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, we don't need to learn languages now, really, Luna, but um, it's easier than ever to communicate with people. But it is still nice, very good for the brain to learn more than one language, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And also, if you can say something that people might be very happy. I think maybe people who speak English cannot feel that kind of happiness because most of people can speak English.
I think the classic stereotype of people who speak English is that they're lazy with languages and they don't learn them very well. But I've always been very jealous. I'm both lazy, I can only speak one language effectively, and I wish that I could speak more. And I think that the pleasure I haven't experienced that pleasure that you're describing of really being able to speak a language. except French. I can tell a joke. I, French is my best language, and I can tell a joke in French.
Oh,
Um, yeah, and when you see the native speakers laugh at your joke, yeah, that's a good feeling.
I cannot speak joke in English.
I'm sure you can, Luna. You make us laugh from time to time. So language learning. So we're talking about the advanced voice mode and how that helped. I tell you what I've discovered actually recently, literally just this morning. So me and Jessie, my wife, we're going to spend a few weeks in Spain next year. Spanish is a language I'm not very effective at either, but I would like to learn some of it. Anyway, I went to Google Translate this morning. I was looking at how to pronounce certain words, and I got a notification that Google Translate is now doing language learning. So it's a bit like Duolingo, but more like Google and AI ified, if that's a word. And I don't know, I haven't really explored it fully yet, but I was pretty impressed with the the user interface from the get-go. So when you open up the app, you say which language you want to learn, and then it asks you um, for what purpose. Like, do you want to learn it because you're going there with business? Do you want to learn this language because you're, um, you know, because your friend is there or because you're going on vacation there or whatever. But it also has a text box where you can just describe in your own words the reason that you're going there. So I said, me and my wife are going there for an extended stay next year. We're going to stay in this region, etc. And it came back with like a bespoke plan, probably a bit like what you were describing for ChatGPT, but it was more of an app experience. So it says, it's a bit more like Duolingo, like, okay, you have 3 goals today, and here are 3 use cases that you might use. Here's do you want to do this lesson on how to order coffee? Do you want to do this lesson on how to speak to get directions to the beach? That kind of thing. And then when you click on it, it gives you a whole list of vocabulary, and then it can speak to you. So then it can have a conversation with you in the language, and then you can click on what words you understood. And I haven't really deep dived into it yet, but I'm pretty excited to give it a go and see if it's a good use case for language learning. Maybe you should try it with Japanese and let me know if it's good for that.
Sounds good.
Great. Okay, I think this is a really interesting kind of strand of conversation, just how a non-native English speaker is using it to communicate with their English colleagues and clients. The other part of it was you were saying that sometimes you copy and paste, but sometimes you screenshot. I'm not sure that everybody that uses this technology knows about that particular use case. Can you just describe, you know, in step by step or very clear instructions, as if this was a tutorial that you're watching on YouTube, how do you copy and paste a screenshot into ChatGPT to get the answers that you're looking for?
In general, you take screenshot, it will ask you to save the picture somewhere, but another shortcut, that fast way to just like copy paste the picture is Command Shift for Control, and then drag the area you want to show, and then Command V, paste on the chat box. That's the quick way to do.
And just to be clear, that's on the Mac, right?
Yes, Mac.
Yeah, I don't know what it is on Windows. We're Mac users, obviously. So you press Command Shift Control 4, and then you get a little target that shows up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And then you drag that target over the area that you want to screenshot. And
Mm-hmm.
then once you let go of that, you have a screenshot on your clipboard, and then you press Command V on ChatGPT, and it will paste into ChatGPT a screenshot of the area that you want to ask questions about. And
Yeah.
if you've screenshotted an email or a conversation in Slack, ChatGPT is able to read it, and then you're able to ask questions about that. That's amazing. I use that too, and I found it's a really quick and versatile way to get answers on a topic It's so quick and so versatile that I would say that's probably the most important use or the most important tip I could give to anybody on how to use ChatGPT.
Mm,
Would you agree with that?
agreed.
Yeah. Not just when I'm asking questions about this email or this conversation in Slack, but also, when you're an editor, you are often coming up with error messages. We use Adobe Premiere, and it's very regularly. It was not just Adobe Premiere, but also Adobe After Effects and various kind of complicated software programs. And it's not uncommon for there to be some sort of error message that pops up on the screen, and it usually has like a code and tells you for some reason this timeline that you're working on, this edit that you're working on has broken. There's just a big red X on the screen, and it's really frustrating. And before ChatGPT, you might have to try and like look at it and type it into Google and be like,
Oh,
try what is the reason for this error code? And then you search Google and you're looking at Reddit forums trying to figure out if anyone knows why the program is crashing. And that screenshot tool that you're describing has been just an absolute game changer, because now I can do two things. One, I can screenshot the error message and I can paste that into ChatGPT. And sometimes ChatGPT will be able to tell me what the answer is. Or I can ask it just to give me a Google search kind of query that I can copy and paste into Google. Or I can just
mm,
get it to search Google for me and find out if there are any answers to this problem that I'm having.
mm.
Have you tried using it for that as well?
Yes. Um, in general, it just tell me the answer right away.
Yeah, yeah. You just get the answer right away. Don't bother with any of the complicated stuff. Are
Yeah.
there any other kind of examples like that? Are there any beyond just the error messages? Are there any other use cases with screenshots that you can think of that's been helpful?
You mean on Premiere?
Just in any, just that feature of screenshotting, taking screenshots of areas and then getting feedback.
Oh, lately I'm into riding bike and I recorded. I set a GoPro in front of my bar handle and record things. And I'm thinking maybe I can record all not the not only the video, also my heart rate, also my speed and my route. My Apple Watch can record all of the data. And I asked ChatGPT how to export the data, and I watch a video. Someone is doing that too. They have a layer to show the information like the route and the heart rate and how much miles they ride on real time with the video. So I took a screenshot of that frame and asked ChatGPT, how can I do it?
Okay, so you took a screenshot of that image. So the image was a first person view of someone riding their bike, and then there was an overlay of the route, a bit like Mario Kart, on the
Yeah.
side, and then it also had the heart rate next to that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you took a screenshot of that, put that into ChatGPT, and asked it, "How do I do this?"
Yes.
And what did it tell you the answer?
Yes.
Amazing. And were you able to do it?
Yes.
It's amazing when you start figuring out that you can get it to just look at the screen for you and give you feedback on things. It really does open up a whole world of options. I've used it before when I'm trying to describe something to a client. I wanted to offer them a couple of different options when it came to a style. So one shot was very like a corporate look, and the other one was a fun and playful look. So I wanted to give them these two options, but I didn't want to use the word corporate because I felt like it sounded a bit, I don't know, pejorative somehow.
Uh,
Who doesn't want to have the fun look rather than the corporate look? But so I ended up taking a screenshot of both images and explained my problem to ChatGPT and said, can you give me some different ways to describe these images that, one of them's corporate, one's fun, but I want it to sound more professional, but also not pejorative, and it was amazing. Yeah, obviously gave me tons of options. I ended up, I think, choosing playful or boardroom, which was
Mm.
great.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's amazing. Okay, I think we're segueing pretty nicely into top tips. The part of the podcast where we do our quick tips. So, we're going to start with one tip that you think is like the most important tip that you can use if you were to give your grandmother or your late adopting colleague advice on how to use this technology if they've just started using it. What's your number one tip that you'd give them?
Number one tips is I think the most important thing is you need to introduce yourself to ChatGPT or the LLMs. That, for example, on the setting in my portfolio in ChatGPT, I will tell ChatGPT that I'm from Taiwan. I'm working in the US in a production company. I'm using Premiere, using After Effects as my tools, some kind of general detail. So when I ask ChatGPT question, then ChatGPT will give me the answer of Premiere or information of New York, or the answer is more toward to production, video production.
Okay, so you're saying when you start using this technology, give it some context about who you are, and then you'll get better answers when you start using it.
Yes, it's like making friends.
Okay.
So I remember one day you tell me that Gemini is also good, that maybe we can try it. And at that moment, I kind of like feel a little bit upset that I make a very good relationship with ChatGPT, and now I need to make a new friend. It's kind of like saying goodbye to a
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be some people out there that find that a terrifying circumstance that you're making friends with this robot. Okay, moving on to your own personal superpower, a hack that you've found works for you. Just something that is like, something specific to you that you just feel is a little bit different. It's not as generic, but it's very, Luna's use case.
To me, it's the most useful part to me is language. That sometimes I'm lazy to read a lot of English, then I will ask ChatGPT to translate to me.
And this is why you're not learning the language very well anymore. Is that
I know.
Luna, your English is amazing. You are doing great. I'm still somewhat. I'm still. I guess I can't speak to it because I don't speak multiple languages. But I have noticed that in some ways, ChatGPT does improve my writing. Um, it's given me ways to phrase things I wasn't very good at phrasing before, and now when I wasn't very confident at writing certain types of emails to clients, let's say emails where I have to deliver bad news, that's the sort of thing that I can be really, really, lost in my head about. And then ChatGPT gives me the confidence to phrase certain things, and then I don't need to use it anymore because I'm like, I have that phrase that I sort of learned from working with the chatbot. Is it not the same for you with language learning? I mean, does it not give you certain phrases that you didn't have before?
I think it's kind of helpful that, as you say, you want to say something not so harmful, not like sounds nicer, then that really helps me because to me, my head is very, very strict. But now I will think about other way to say it. But I will ask ChatGPT if this way is nice or that's too soft.
Right. And then further down the line, then you have learnt that and you don't need to use ChatGPT.
Hmm. Oh, to me, I still a little bit afraid in my English, so I kind of double check
Yeah.
with ChatGPT.
But that's natural. But do you think further down the line you'll stop checking
Yeah,
as you get better?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely leading the witness a bit here, but I'm just trying to put a bit more of a positive spin on something there, or at least leave the door open to this positivity based on my own experiences of, you know, being able to speak the English language better as a result. Okay. So your superpower is largely around language, and we've definitely covered a lot of language in this podcast already. Okay. One surprisingly fun or unexpected use case.
I just adopted a cat.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
I ask a lot of questions about cat. Sometimes we need to travel, we need to shoot something. I will leave the house a few days. In summertime, it was very hot in the room that I need to set up the AC. I'm thinking how to set up the AC automatically. And then asked ChatGPT, and then it started introduce me a small computer called Raspberry Pi that I can code in it and use my iPhone to control my AC, some kind of stuff. And then I start coding.
Okay. Are you a code? Do you have any experience in coding
I
before?
did long time ago when I was in high school, but I completely forget because coding is it's like coding is technology, so the language keep changing,
Yeah,
and the
totally.
language I learn is different from now on.
Okay. Okay, so let me just get this straight. So you were going away for a long period of time on a shoot. You are a cat mother, and you use ChatGPT to get information about how to look after your cat in certain circumstances. And on this specific occasion, you were going away, and it was hot, so you wanted to see if you could remotely control your AC, and ChatGPT recommended this device called Raspberry Pi that is like a mini computer that required you to use code to program it in order to control your AC. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes,
And was it successful? Were you able to do that?
yes.
That's amazing. That's so cool. So
Um,
you then learned how to code, or it gave you the instructions on how to code this thing to make sure that the temperature in your apartment was controlled.
mm-hmm.
You from your
Yes,
phone? Were you controlling it from your phone?
yes.
That's amazing.
And also I can have a toy and then put it into Raspberry Pi so I can far away use my phone to control the toy in the house.
That's so cool. Okay. And I guess we should just double check. Is your cat still alive?
Yes. Oh, the most important thing is you shouldn't connect your feeder to internet. The feeder should be just like dumb feeder itself. Don't connect it to the internet because the internet fucked up, your cat fucked up.
Okay. All right. That's a great place to end it. All right then, Luna. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a great conversation, and I hope that our listeners will have learnt a thing or two.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time on the It's Not the End of the World podcast, unless it really is the end of the world, in which case I can only apologize, but you'll have other things to worry about. So, till next time.